Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Ms. Dolan?
Here.
Ms. Belisca? Present. Mrs. McKnight?
Here.
Mayor Morgan?
Here.
Mrs. Joffrey?
Here.
Mr. Kogan?
Here.
Mr. Kaminsky?
I am here.
Salute the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is a public meeting, Borough Council, Borough of New Providence, County of Union, State of New Jersey. Adequate notice has been given in accordance with PL 1975, Chapter 231, that an annual notice or revision was made in conformance with Section 13 of the Act. Okay, this is a good part of the meeting where we give out proclamations. So, Coach Pazdera, why don't you come up with the girls and we can read the proclamation. Don't worry, we don't bite up here. And I'm a pioneer.
Squish it,
too, so
squish it, squish
I
it, squish
get
it. You gotta squish it. Squish it.
Okay. Whereas the New Providence Girls basketball held off a late charge by Glen Ridge to win 42-36 at Rutgers University on March 15th, 2025. And whereas with the win, the team was crowned the NJSIAA Group 1 state champions. And whereas it is the second state championship in 3 years for New Providence, which beat Secaucus in 2023 Group 2 final before being reclassified as Group 1 school this year. And where the team has won its 3rd Union County tournament in 4 seasons. I actually think winning that tournament is better than the state championship, because you're beating all those Group 4 schools. Man, I got off track. In 4 seasons of our Westfield team that would go up to win the North 2 Group 4 sectional championship, and the Pioneers reached their rarefied of 30 wins when they took home the state championship trophy. And whereas this is the best season for the New Providence girls basketball team win-wise, and it matches the 2023 when they won the conference, county, and state championships. Now therefore, I, Alan Morgan, Mayor of the Borough of New Providence, County of Union, State of New Jersey, heartily congratulate the New Providence High School girls basketball team on their amazing accomplishment and wish them all the best in their future endeavors.
Thank you.
Sure. We should just get this and we can pass them all down. How's that? Pass them all
Take one,
down.
pass it down.
Sure. And I did, I was able to watch one of your games. You girls are amazing. And, you know, I was a hockey player, so I don't know a whole lot about basketball, but all I know is that you girls, you knew where each one of you were every step. And you were passing the ball around, and it was just truly amazing. I am truly amazed at what you girls have done. And Cap, we go back a long way. Your coaching ability is unmatched. You have some record, so you want to say anything?
Sure, I'd like to thank the council for this honor. I'd like to thank the town of New Providence for its continued support over the last 20 years. I'd like to thank this great group of young ladies. Not only great basketball players, but even better people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank the parents too, because you know what? There's an old saying, you don't lick it off the grass. They're good because you're good. And you're great role models. And I want to thank you all because you make us all proud. As a small community, we are very blessed to have such talent. Thank you.
Kevin, to show your proclamation.
Well, you're gonna need a wide angle lens here, Chief. Now, parents, if you want to come up, you can.
Parents, get in the picture.
All good? Congratulations.
Congrats, guys. Congrats. Excellent job. Great job. Great job. Thank you. You're the best, buddy. Thank you. Congrats. Congrats, guys. Awesome job. Next year, right? We'll be there. Let's go. Next year again. Next year again.
I know your sister. Congratulations. And your mom.
Do it again next year.
Good, who's coming in for that?
And, you know, it's funny, average age.
Turn it
Oh, I
about.
know they ran half head,
You gonna look it up?
so.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Irish Roberts.
Amazing. Okay, next proclamation is recognizing April 6th to 12th as Local Government Week, encouraging all citizens to support the celebration and corresponding activities. Whereas local government is the government closest to most citizens and is the one most directly impacted upon its residents. Whereas local government provides services and programs that enhance the quality of life for residents and making their municipality their home. And whereas local government is administered for and by its citizens and is dependent upon public comment to and understanding of its many responsibilities. And whereas local government officials and employees share the responsibility to pass along the understanding of public services and their benefits. And whereas New Jersey Local Government Week offers an important opportunity for elected officials and local government staff to spread the word to all citizens of New Jersey that they can shape and influence this branch of government. And whereas the New Jersey State League of Municipalities and its member municipalities have joined together to teach citizens about municipal government through a variety of activities. Therefore, I, Alan Morgan, do hereby proclaim April 6th through 12th, 2025 as New Jersey Local Government Week in the Borough of New Providence. And the mayor of the Borough of New Providence, I also encourage all citizens, local government officials, and employees to participate in the events that recognize and celebrate New Jersey Local Government Week. And I encourage everybody to look on the website, and there's a list of the activities this week that involve local government. I know some of the things are cookies with the cops. The kids all love Touch a Truck, and there's a lot going on. I know a couple of us are going down to the Senior Center tomorrow, so it's all a good thing, and we encourage everybody to attend. Do we have anybody here from Moms Helping Moms? No? Okay, why don't we just give that to them? And I'll give this one to you.
Thank you.
Okay, need approval of minutes for March 25th, please.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
No, so be it. We have some correspondence, Board of Adjustment for 31 Osborne, Township of Chatham ordinance, land use application fees, Peter Bianco, 45 Potter, complaining about neighbors' signage and fencing. And why don't we have Keith look at that? County of Union Commissioners, budget notice, and then the County Union, the Economic Development, Infrastructure, Municipal Aid Award Letter, and I just want to show everybody that every year they give out a grant, the county, and we thank them very much. They give us a check for $50,000, and we're going to be using that for road paving this year. So we always want to thank them, and they are good partners with the Borough of New Providence. So thank you.
Does
Thank
the bank
you to the, commissioners.
Does the bank accept that kind of check, or you have to sign it on the back?
Well, I don't know.
Now that we take photos, it fits anywhere.
That's right.
We always appreciate the county's help. Okay, we have Board of Adjustment for 67 Oxbow and PSC&G notice filing for public hearing for proposed rate adjustments. I guarantee they're not going down. Okay, let's go to, any comments? No? Let's go to council business. Kathleen, administration.
Thank you, Mayor. This is Resolution 2025-104, a resolution of the Borough of New Providence declaring support for the preservation of the federal tax exemption of municipal bonds. There's something that's being proposed to eliminate or reduce this exemption, which would significantly increase our borrowing costs for local governments and impact our ability to fund essential public projects. So we have a resolution asking for this exemption to be maintained.
Yeah, I think that this is very important that we do this. Municipal bonds are very important and for the tax rate, so.
The tax exemption portion of municipal bonds, maybe Lisa, you can supply, maybe give us a little feedback about how that affects our budget maybe.
So investors basically want to be compensated, right, for taking risk. And, you know, buying a municipal bond is taking some risk. The federal government, or the government used to, or still does actually, make it worthwhile by giving you that federal tax exemption. So so municipalities are able to issue bonds for lower interest rates because the tax equivalent yield on those would be a little bit higher. So they're not paying taxes on the interest that they're earning from those bonds. By eliminating that tax exemption, what's happening is that investors are going to want to be compensated. So then municipalities, state revenue organizations, any kind of project that's happening, local or within the state, they're going to have to issue those bonds at higher rates. So what does that do? As Kathleen said, it's going to increase the cost of borrowing. So, for instance, if the municipality was able to issue a bond, say at like 3.3%, the tax equivalent yield on that would be probably around 5%. So say on $1 million for a 10-year loan, you're looking at, and I did a quick calculation on that, you're looking at about $100,000, right, over the life of that loan. So that's significant, you know, and that's just $1 million. So, you know, we borrow significantly more than that. So having that elimination is something then that we would have to make, we would have to kind of cover that extra cost. So that's something we don't want to lose for sure.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go Nadine, Advisory Board.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 2025-105 is a resolution authorizing agreement between the Borough of New Providence and the County of Union regarding banner across Springfield Avenue for Mental Health Awareness Month.
I believe at our last meeting, we went through everything that the Mental Health Advocacy and Education Committee is going to be doing for Mental Health Awareness Month during the month of May. And this is part of it. This is the banner that we are hoping will go across Springfield Avenue, that all 10 towns are going to have in one form or another in all of their towns. This is just requesting permission, requesting a temporary licensing agreement from the county. This is part of the process to get that approved and put across. And again, just a reminder, this is not something that we are paying for. The banner is being supplied by the Kimberly Ann Wilson Foundation for all of the participants.
Okay, community activities, Diane.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 2025-106 is a resolution approving requisition R2500707 for Gold Standard Consulting, LLC, DBA Keystone Sports Construction, very long name, and in an amount not to exceed $29,904.40 for repair and painting of tennis courts 5 to 8. Keystone will be sealing cracks, painting and relining courts 5 through 8 in June after the high school tennis season, but before the summer programs start. They actually also had repaired, milled and redone courts 1 through 4 last year. So we know their work. They were the lowest bid. We know their work. And I think everybody knows that every couple years we fill in the cracks and repaint, and then to extend the life. So we are very good stewards. Kudos to our recreation department for staying on top of that.
Okay, engineering, Alex.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 2025-107, resolution approving partial payment number 2 to Northeast Roof Maintenance, Inc. in the amount of $78,897.50 for the project commonly known as partial re-roofing of the Municipal Center and Memorial Library. The roofing is all done, just some remaining work on painting of the wood cornice and some fascias on the municipal building. Resolution 2025-108, resolution approving progress payment, the last payment, number 3, for Dakota Excavating Contractors, Inc. in the amount of $141,555.45 for the New Providence Pickleball Courts project. So this resolution approves the third and final payment for the pickleball courts. They look phenomenal, by the way, if you haven't seen them.
The county commissioners came down and
That's
took
correct.
a look at them and said they were very impressed with the new courts. So
Yep.
that was a good job. Good job. Okay, finance, Lisa.
Thank you, Mayor. We have Resolution 2025-109 is a resolution authorizing emergency temporary appropriations. This is typical for this time of year till we get the budget approved at the next meeting. So this just gives emergency temporary appropriations for gasoline and natural gas. We have Resolution 2025-110. This is the resolution authorizing payment of the attached bills payable list in the amount of $4,056,161.57. Some of the most significant items here are the Board of Ed for the April school tax, that's $1,451,618. State of New Jersey for the annual pension payment, $1,121,741. Again, State of New Jersey for another annual pension payment, $555,222. We have the JIF for, this is payment 2 of 3 for membership, $183,860. Again, the JIF for the deductible and co-insurance, $168,757. We have our April healthcare payment to Horizon Blue Cross, $145,631, and our library for their April appropriation, and that would be $104,957.
Okay, Public Works, Matt.
Resolution 111 is a resolution approving a contract between the Borough of New Providence and S. Rotundi and Son, Inc. for grass and garden waste disposal for the year 2025. This is our Monday brush and grass pickup for the year. Resolution 112 is a resolution authorizing the sale of property no longer needed for public use on an online auction website. So we have 4 vehicles that we no longer have in use that we'll be auctioning off. Resolution 113 is a resolution awarding contract to Suburban Disposal, Inc., 54 Montesano Road, Fairfield, New Jersey, for curbside collection of solid waste and garden waste. This is our weekly trash pickup. This is our contract ends at the end of April, so this is a new contract. We went out for bid. We actually received 2 bids back, and this one was lower, actually significantly lower than the other one. This does have an increase for the first year of 8.27%, which is a pretty sizable increase, but year 2 it goes only up 2.8% and then a little more than 5% for the next couple of years. So it's a 5-year contract, which also allows us to plan accordingly with our budget.
I think it's interesting, over the last 2 reports, you can see there's a lot of these things like pension costs, insurance, grass, garbage. These things have gone up exponentially.
Yeah.
And it's hard to keep the budget under that 2% cap, but I want to thank everybody for working together to get this thing down to 1.9. Okay, we'll have committee reports. I think many of us went to the Fireman's Award Dinner, and I'd like to congratulate all the recipients. And I especially want to congratulate Rob Parlapiano, 45 years on the fire department, just unbelievable. I also want to thank Chief Wyko, served 4 years as chief. It's not an easy job, so we want to thank him. Also want to say New Providence EMS is having an open house on Sunday, May 18th from 1 to 3 p.m. And it's for the entire family. Tours, interactive demonstrations, hands-on CPR demonstrations, meet the members, enjoy free ice cream, and I know the Packet Club is going to have popcorn there. So, should be a good family outing. And before I do anything, the Easter egg hunt is on
The 12th.
Saturday at 9:30, and the way the kids are, it's over at 9:33. I'll get there early. It's supposed to rain, but rain or shine, we're gonna have it, so.
Eggs don't melt, so.
No, eggs don't count. But, they have balloons and all sorts of things, so. The fire department comes, rescue squad, police,
Easter Bunny.
Easter Bunny,
May make an appearance.
yeah. So, Lisa,
Thank you, Mayor. Let's see what we got. Mayor Al, Nadine, Bernadette, we just met before this meeting with Jim Testa to review our debt service. So we are on iteration 7 of what is the best and most efficient and cost-effective way of structuring our bond debt. And kudos to Jim and to our bond counsel for really coming up some very efficient and creative ways of putting this together with the least impact to our taxpayers. So we looked at this final scenario 7, and what we're going to be doing is staggering and laddering this permanent funding of these bond ordinances and future capital projects. So we've looked at it a million different ways, like I said, and this really makes the most sense. It is the most efficient, most cost-effective way. We will be sharing the details so with all of you at some point. But we just got this tonight, so we'll get that.
When do we have to approve the debt financing?
Well,
have some
so it has to be really done by July, because that is when the bans come due. So something has to be done by then. Some decision has to be made. And if we're gonna make a decision just on the bans, then we might as well look at everything instead of just looking at piecemeal. Right, so that makes the most sense.
So stay tuned.
So that was Finance Committee. Lastly, I think Diane has a lot to say on community activities. I'm just gonna add that it is, National Municipal Government Week, is that what it's called? National Municipal Government Week. But part of that is National Library Week, and today is actually National Library Day. And the library did post something about, they had a little survey to pick your favorite librarian or library worker. So I hope everybody kind of participated in that. But the library does have a lot going on. They have a full calendar of activities this week, everything from story time to activities for adults and kids. Our library personally has been doing phenomenal, especially since Stacy took over. The numbers of the visitors to the library have just been phenomenal, the highest it's ever been. One of the things that Stacy was telling me is that they are redoing their website, so by May, they're gonna have a new website that will make it easier to register for programs, reserve rooms, and also reserve some study rooms. By the end of this month, they're gonna have completed 2 private, quiet study rooms, which is something that's new, and has been asked for, and finally here, so. And that's all I have.
Okay, Diane.
So, yes, it's called it is National Library Week, which does coincide with New Jersey Local Government Week. As I always say, go to the source, the New Providence website, Facebook, Instagram, and also the library old website, which will be new soon. I think it's National Library Worker Day or something like that. I just saw that. They have new exhibits all the time too, and I just wanted to give a shout out to Malathi, who has a quilt exhibit in April and May. So that's really exciting because she's worked on a lot of our committees and such. She's wonderful. So where was I here? We had a local government scavenger hunt, which starts on the offices on the 2nd floor. You get a sheet of clues, which are very cleverly worded, and you go all around the municipal center, and you look for, if you guys remember, just to give you a hint, the really cool definitions that we had for borough administrator, council member, borough clerk. That's what you're looking for all over, and you may just get a prize at the end of it. So, which these were purchased, by the way, with grant money. So very exciting for that. So that's yesterday and Wednesday, but can people go any day and do the scavenger hunt? It's listed on the calendar, but you can go at any time. Obviously the council meeting, we have coffee with council, like Mayor Morgan said, at the DeCorso Center for the DeCorso Center. We have cookies with the cop on Thursday, and we're also going to have council members there. And then on Saturday, of course, I'm going to shout out to the Historical Society as the Mason Room open in the library, but there's also coffee with council at 2 o'clock, and that will be on at Centennial Park, and a rain date would be inside at the Lincoln Room. And I just wanted to give a shout out to our borough because if you look at the websites for New Jersey and the League of Municipalities, both groups encourage municipalities to engage in certain activities that we can proudly note that we as a borough have historically championed and cultivated in many of these ideas, like working with the Board of Ed, the galleries in the Lincoln Room, the hallways. So a lot of the things we've actually been doing for years. So just kudos to our borough. I mentioned there's a lot going on. And speaking of partnering, and I had mentioned March was Youth Art Month, and New Providence School District opened up a YAM gallery on 327 in the Recreation hallway, which is so cool because there are pictures from kindergarten through senior year in high school, and it's insane how incredibly talented the kids in this town are. Year after year. There was also a STEM show to close out our wellness challenge on 327. We had over 40 adults and even more kids. It was packed, and the kids were they had such a great time. We had our cleanup day on the 29th, which I'm sure Councilman Cogan will elaborate on. And then I already said coffee with council. We had a really productive, for communications, we had a very productive meeting last week regarding NPTV, its current status, and a lively discussion on a multitude of potentials for that. And I wanted to give a shout out and a thank you to Lamar, who has invaluable information and insight on this. And I very much look forward to working on this project. It seems really exciting. I did want to mention that the famous ride of Paul Revere is overnight on the 18th and the 19th of April. So that will actually start the revolutionary period for 2025. Just had to put that. And then I did have one more thing. What's that?
Is there an actual ride?
Paul Revere, the ride.
No, like, is it
The actual
really
ride,
enacted?
like, is somebody gonna come to
Somebody-
town?
No, there's not an actual. So
Don't
Union
step in
County, Union County, yeah, his name is Matt Kaminsky. Union County was supposed to
There you go.
have some big kickoff, but honestly, I looked on the website today. I'm not sure. I just figured I'd mention it because it was exciting. And then I also wanted to give a shout out to our first responders. Saturday night was a really great night celebrating our fire department, but I also wanted to give out a huge shout out to our EMS and our EMTs. So I don't know if most of you know that my son apparently had a shellfish allergy. Nobody told him that there was crab on the salmon, and so he was with half the fire department is on EMS too. And shout out to Alex Milhewish, Peter Vizlaki, and so many other people. They were so calm, and it wasn't an emergency situation, but it became a 911 call. And as his mom, I felt completely calm that he was in good hands. And also a shout out to Berkeley Heights, because they walked over to the they drove over to the Walgreens, and the Berkeley Heights Police Department and EMS came. And I mean, you would think that I was, just going on a circus ride or something, because I was so calm. But our responders are top notch, and we train them well. They take their job seriously, and I can't speak enough about them. So thank you to all of them.
Okay, Kathleen?
Thank you, Mayor. The Diversity Committee, Councilman Alex Cogan and I should be able to make a recommendation on the next steps for the Diversity Committee, I think, in early May. After meeting with so many stakeholders, we've had great conversations with residents, and that's going to make us feel confident that we're taking the right path to reflect our town's changing demographics and needs. For the Municipal Alliance, there was a meeting last week on the 2nd, and the Alliance Committee was able to confirm they got their approved funding for next year at $11,000 and change, and we talked about how it could be most effectively spent. The group will be hosting a table at the upcoming Senior Health Fair to be held on May 14th from 9 to 11:30 at the DeCorso Community Center. And I'll just reiterate, with this being Local Government Week, as the newbie on the council and member of the local government, I took it upon myself to actually do the scavenger hunt yesterday. Questions are pretty cool. I got, to walk around the building in a different way, looking at all the different departments and learning a little bit from that. So I would encourage our residents to check it out.
Did you get a prize?
I did, yes. I got the lunch bag. And so anyway, that's a good thing to do, and just emphasizing the cookies with the cop on Thursday. It's also cookies with council, and Diane and I will be there in the EMS parking lot. We'd love to meet some of you. That's it.
Can I just quickly clarify, the Diversity Committee, we always had a Diversity Committee, right? And it just kind of fell off this year because of not enough volunteers.
Right.
So you're gaining more traction in getting more people to volunteer for the diversity committee is what you're.
Yeah, and at the same time, we're getting better informed about how to steer the committee. What would be a good kind of mission for the committee?
Yeah, I would add that the Unity Day, which was a big human resource from the borough, is now being done by the high school students. So a lot of the parents that are on the diversity committee in the past kind of focused their attention to helping the students, and that looks like it's going to take off and be an annual event run by the high school.
Yeah.
But we're looking into how do we re-engage those parents back. And you're absolutely right. It's all volunteers.
Yeah, no, I just want to make sure we're clear that this is a committee that we had.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's
Yeah,
still
yes.
in
And we're
effect.
trying to get the committee,
Yeah.
people to come back to the committee
Yeah.
to reinstate the committee, right, which is still a
It had
committee
no
that-
members.
Right.
Had one.
We had one
One
member. We
member.
had Shonda, who was working on the Unity Day. But the Diversity Committee has always had a very strong mission, which I'm sure it will still continue to have, of bringing awareness and education about our various cultures and our residents. So we've always, as a council, stood behind diversity in our community, and I've always tried to promote that for all residents, and we've been very successful for several years.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is just the first year that we've only had one volunteer, so it hasn't been able to do as much as it has in the past.
Right.
But it has a very rich history of celebrating all the various cultures, and I'm hopeful that we are able to bring that back to the potential that it has, and with the full support of council, as it has always had and always will
Yeah,
have.
I think we're optimistic about that. I think another big factor was Sunil stepped down as the chair.
That was a very
As we
big
all know,
factor.
Sunil did so much and
Yeah.
continues to do so. So, and he's heavily involved with the Unity Day with the kids as well.
Which is great. Yeah, that was very hard for, anybody to really step up and do that much work. And admittedly, it's a lot of work to be a committee chair.
Yes.
And, so hopefully we'll move that in that same direction. And, I worked on that committee for several years, and it was always a great committee to work with.
Near and dear to your heart.
Near and dear to my heart, for sure.
Okay. You done, Kathleen?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Go ahead, Nadine.
So while I'm talking, I'll just keep on
You just
going.
keep going.
I'll just keep going.
You're on a roll.
Community activities, older adult services. Councilwoman Belisca and I were at the Barabash Manor on Friday afternoon. We had a little bit of a tea party, which was a lot of fun. We had tea and cookies with the residents, and we kind of brought the council on the road. So it was kind of a council road show. We discussed the budget presentation. We discussed Mental Health Awareness Month and all the things to look forward to. Diane discussed Rev 250 and the TV channel. So we had, and we took some questions from them. It was a great discussion. They would love to have us back. They're already asking us to come back next month. So a great group of older residents who really want to be an active part of our community. A couple people interested in volunteering for some things. It was a great talk, and we hope to bring this road show to other older resident communities. We'll be at the DeCorso, but we're hoping to bring it up to Lantern Hill at some time as well. And so that committee's moving forward.
And it was actually really fun and interesting to see the residents interacting with each other and how one person would say something, the other person would say, well, I didn't know that existed. So they actually did half of the work for us. So it was just a nice forum for them to get
Exactly.
together.
And it fulfills our mission of really wanting to engage them, incorporate them with the community. So, very good, very nice. Mental health, to continue what we're planning for the month. The poster contest has started at the elementary schools. So posters should be themed on how to take care of your mental health and say, be kind to your mind. Poster sheets are available in the main offices of Saltbrook and Roberts School. Posters need to be submitted to their main offices by April the 24th, and they will be on display in both elementary schools for the month of May and will be exhibited in Union County in June. First 100 participants will receive a wellness goodie bag, and then winners will be designated for each of the grades and will be awarded here at our council meeting on April 29th, which is when we are having our kickoff to Mental Health Awareness Month at 6:30 in Centennial Park, with hopefully some of the 10 towns who are participating will come together to kick that month off. Excellent, excellent thing. So hopefully we get a lot of participants in our poster contest. And then lastly for me is the Historical Society, a couple of exciting things coming up. And Councilwoman Bliska, back me up if I leave anything out. The dinner, the annual dinner is this Thursday. And it's at Chimney Rock. Well, it's not
Vintage
Chimney Rock
Tavern.
anymore. It's called
Vintage Tavern.
Vintage Tavern on Springfield Avenue. And they're taking registrations right up until the last day. Annual memberships are coming due, so that's, don't forget to re-sign up for that, so you get updated as to what's going on with the society every year. It's just a small donation and would make a great gift. I believe we recommended for Easter or Passover, or for anything that would be a nice gift for people. The different fairs will be coming up soon, so stay tuned for more information on that. And always exciting things with our Historical Society. And I think that's it for me.
Alex?
Thank you, Mayor. A couple updates. Cleanup Day, as Diane mentioned, was 2 weekends ago. Huge success. 3 separate crews, one at Lincoln Field, one at Oakwood Park, and the other was around the tennis courts. Troop 1, Troop 63. We had PAL baseball team showed up, which was a great community service. I've never seen that happen from a baseball team. I think the best find of the of the event was Donna Zane found a shopping cart in Lincoln in the woods of Lincoln Field. So that was amazing to grab and find. Huge success. The good news is Oakwood Park was in very good shape. Around the tennis courts, the kids found lots and lots of garbage bags, lots of branches. So I think it was a huge success. Lots of participants. Another thing on the Sustainability Committee front, we received an email last night regarding the silver certification. Just like any certification process, somebody has to prove that they read your report. But by doing that, they ask a lot of questions. So we're going to have a lot of work to follow up on giving them a little bit more insight on the data that we provided. So, but I think we're still pretty optimistic. Last Saturday, I went to the library, and they had the garden club and is assigning all the plots by the tennis courts. Great group of people, extremely organized. Everybody's very willing to help. One thing I learned at the library, maybe some of us remember, maybe Denise might be too young for this, but a lot of us had to use those index cards for the card catalog for the Dewey Decimal System. Well, they've converted that to seeds, little envelopes of seeds. It's very well organized. If you want tomato seeds, cucumber, you name it. Seed catalog, and I did. Yeah, it was pretty cool. But very, as I said, first time I'm with that group. Excellent, very well organized, and I didn't realize you have to put in 3 hours of community service there. Yeah, so that was good to see. Shredding event that you might have seen got posted today on the Borough website on the 18th of May between 9 and 1 at the pool, the community pool parking lot. You can bring up to 4 bags of 10 pounds each, or 4 boxes 10 pounds each, and you drive by, drop it off, and they shred it right there for you. So that's thanks to the borough and Union County for helping us do that. And last thing, the other thing, while I was looking at the shredding event, I noticed on May 3rd is our fishing derby for the police department. That's Oakwood Park between 8 and 11 a.m.
Registration is open on, and
Oh, yes, I have it here.
recreation
I was
pass.
gonna say that.
So-
Community pass.
Yeah,
Like
and
NP pass.
one other item, Kathleen, Diane, Nadine, and I, a Jewish man, attended Mass for the police department. It was a beautiful ceremony at OLP Church. My first time inside that church, if you can believe that. Very nice Mass, good sermon in a way. And it's the Livingston Police Department, New Providence. I don't remember the third police department. Do you guys remember?
No, it was.
No, it was just Livingston.
Livingston and New Providence, okay, maybe I was looking at
Because
the wrong
Father
page.
Francisco is the chaplain for both of those.
That's correct, so
And
great,
then-
great service, but there's, go ahead.
And I was just gonna say, and he also had one previously for the fire department and for the EMS.
Yeah, so
I-
this wrapped up the mass series.
I'm only allowed to do one mass a year. No, it was great, it was a beautiful ceremony, so, thank you,
Great job, Father Francisco.
that's all I had.
Okay, Matt,
Operation is normal.
Bernadette.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to let everyone know that we've been in constant contact with the water company, the contractor, the county for paving South Street. This has not been an easy road to get paved for some reason. Lots of differencing in opinions as to when it should actually happen. We're going to meet tomorrow, but it looks like we're going to mill and pave on Saturday, April 19th, and pave on the 21st. The 21st is Monday. It's a give back day for New Providence schools, so they're not in session. And Our Lady of Peace is also on spring break at that time. So the goal for us would be to have them start as early as humanly possible, where it's still daylight, where they can get out of the downtown quickly, so it doesn't interfere with the daily business of our businesses. As soon as I have definitive information, I'll share it with you guys. The Passaic Street Bridge is, I believe at this point, it is fully demolished. They are in the process of checking the abutments to make sure they're structurally sound. Any minor repairs or anything that needs to be done to the abutments will be done while we're waiting for the steel to be delivered. That project seems to be right on target. They do not have an end date for it, but it is moving along. For those of us who lived through the first closure of that bridge, significant progress has been made. And lastly, every year we do start our municipal paving once the capital budget is in place. We're hoping to introduce that budget in early May. So paving should probably take place June or July at the earliest. Once we have the budget in place, we'll post what streets will be paved this year. And once we have a schedule, it'll be on the same website. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we have public comments. This is an opportunity for any member of the public to be heard about issues that are not separate topics scheduled for public hearings tonight. To help facilitate an orderly manner and to permit all to be heard, speakers are asked to limit their comments to 3 minutes and may only speak once on one topic. Please state your name and address for the record. Anybody wishing to address the council? Yes, Donna.
Donna Zane, 54 Brookside Drive. Just want to throw a thank you out for Cleanup Day to the New Providence Middle School peer leaders, who are actually the ones who found the shopping cart.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Donna, was there anybody else that we forgot that you know?
There were lots of families that signed up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would have to look at Allison's list to
Okay.
see who.
Yeah, lots of families.
Lots
It
of
was-
families,
it was
young
a
children.
Great turnout, really
And
was.
Centennial Park as well was.
That's correct, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
And how did that shopping cart end up all the way in the
We don't
woods?
want to
I'm
know.
not going to discuss that.
And kudos to the sustainability committee members who were at each of the parks,
Yeah.
organizing and working with that.
Anyone else? Yes, Alan.
Alan Swanson, 47 Overhill Road. What did New Jersey Transit have to say about the at-grade crossing at Livingston and Central? Did they, in terms of,
They went out and checked it. They didn't report to me on their findings.
they didn't report on their findings?
No.
Because it's not. It's still, I was there in the last 3 weeks, twice when I was there. And the problem is, well, two problems. One is, if it doesn't function properly and it goes down when there's no train, what's to prevent it from not functioning properly at some point when there is a train coming? That's the issue for me. The second thing is, both times that I've been there and stopped, if you're coming up Livingston and you stop, it'll go down and then no train, and it'll go up. And 20 seconds later, before the light even turns green for Livingston, it'll come down again. And as soon as it comes down, 8 seconds after that gate hits, the train is there. I just think that this is, I've said before, I lived 3 doors down from that crossing for 10 years and never saw anything like it. I happen to think that since you know about it, and if something happens as a result of this not functioning properly, I don't know, you would bear some responsibility in my mind, because you need to tell them, fix it. I mean, if they're not even, this is months ago that I brought this to you. So, I mean, and they're not responding.
When you initially reported it, and I had a discussion with NJ Transit, they let me know that the railroad crossing was functioning as designed. Fast forward to a few weeks ago, when somebody had put in an action line request, we reached out again. They were out the next morning. What happened after that, I'm not sure, because they don't report back to us.
I don't know, do you care? I mean, it's just, you should be saying to them, fix it.
They're telling us that it is functioning as designed. That's, but I can't.
You want me to start filming it or something so you can see it?
What you should do, Alan, is actually put in there's a phone number right there, call it in. I mean, we've called it in, we've done our due diligence. If you feel that it is not, I can't make any more progress than I've already made, unfortunately. It's not our crossing. We have no rights even to anything in that intersection at the crossing. We can't even pave at the tracks because it's theirs. So
You have to go down and look at my notes and say that they're going to say that it's not their property.
Okay. 3 minutes are up, Alan. Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address council? Seeing no one, I declare the public.
Hi, Brian Haas, 49 Bradford Street. So I know the council doesn't, likes to be focused on local issues like roads, sidewalks, infrastructure, railroad crossings. But what I see happening at the federal level is making me scared. And I want to know if you have all thought about how this is going to shake out for your constituents. So for instance, the education budget, I know that's handled by the Board of Education, but you do collect taxes for the Board of Education. Does anyone know how many federal dollars our town receives from the federal government for special education and other services?
I have to go to the Board of Education.
$1.2 million.
Excuse me, Alan. You're out of order.
$1.2 million.
You are out of order. These questions should be dealt with by the Board of Education, not with us.
Okay.
And you know that, Brian.
I don't know that because what I'm saying is.
They have their own budget and they're a separate entity.
Okay, so you don't know the answer.
We
then.
have no.
Okay. All right, what about federal funding dollars for Medicaid? Do we know if any of our residents might be impacted by that? We don't know.
How would we know that?
I don't know.
We're not the federal government. We're local.
Yes, I know that, but
We do not handle Medicaid. We do not handle Social Security.
right, I know that, but
We do not know that information.
Could impact some of the residents here. That's what I'm saying.
We do not know that information.
Okay. So I know you have a good relationship with our congressman.
Yes, I do.
Good. So he refuses to meet with his constituents. So can you put in a word for him to, I know you guys would have a lot more influence with him than.
Well, I plan on talking to Senator, Congressman Kane and about the effects of what's going on, and Senator Bramnick on the state level.
Okay.
So, All I'm gonna say is that we do not handle national or state issues at this forum here. We do not have the information that you seek. 99% of our funding to run municipal government comes from local property taxes. So if the federal government decides to cut something, cuts a grant, then we just won't fund the project. Just like during COVID, that we didn't take any of the loans that were out there. We lived within our means. And we will do the same no matter what is cut. All right? And that's all I could say about it. I feel sorry for people who have been laid off. But, you know, I'm not gonna sit here and discuss what happens in Washington because I have absolutely no control over that.
But it
or
may,
what happens
it may
in the
impact
state.
our town, so
Well,
just like
it's
the
not- I
two
just told you the impact, negligible.
well,
Us running the borough, negligible, that we are responsible for as a group.
the 2008 economic recession that we encountered had an impact,
Brian, I
right?
just told you,
Okay,
we live within our means, we've gotten through every economic thing that has come down the road. And and proof is in the pudding. We have a AAA bond rating. We're fiscally responsible here.
right,
That's it.
all right.
All
I'm
right.
questioning, you know, I'd heard that there was a project considered for the, you know, the police getting new development for a new area for the police, and I just
Right,
wondered if
that's
this is
gonna
the
be
right
done
time.
Through a bond that's funded through property taxes, all right?
Okay.
All
This
right.
may not be the time
Thank
to make
you.
a big expenditure, that's what I'm saying.
Excuse me?
I said this may not be a good time for a big expenditure, that's what I'm saying. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else wishing? Yes, sir.
I'm Peter Biacco.
Hi, Peter.
I put in an action line, guess it was last week now, about a neighbor of mine who has numerous violations, starting with the first one, which is the biggest violation, I think, is she has plants in the site triangle on the corner of her property that were maintained maybe 2 or 3 years ago when someone else came across. Everyone in the neighborhood removed the plants and kept up with it. She has not. I took a pictures today on my way here. They're at 40 inches from her property, which is 6 inches lower than the grade. So we're talking 18 inches. Kids pass by there every day. I've almost been hit. My wife's almost been hit with our stroller. It's extremely dangerous. On top of that, she has 2 dead trees on her property that, again, hang over the street, that are on town property, and because it's in the right of way, that should be removed because it's dangerous. Other violations is she has a fence that was put up illegally on a corner property that's solid. Nowhere is that okay in town. I can't do that. You can't do that. Nobody can do that. She also has a gate in her driveway. On top of the gate, she put a sign saying that if anyone parks behind her driveway, she's going to call the cops and file a harassment charge against anyone who parks back there. I'm allowed to park in the street. I pay taxes. Anyone's allowed to park there. I'm sorry that she doesn't know how to drive and can't pull in and out of her driveway. I live on the same street, and I do it, and I have a truck that's double the size of her car. So I don't know why she's allowed to have that sign up there. I also have a sign that was put up in front of my property of a no idling for diesel trucks. That doesn't exist anywhere else in town. Why is it in front of my house and my neighbor's house? I think we're the ones who are being harassed, not her. And it's a constant issue, and I'm just, it's just not right. I don't understand why we are being harassed. And the poor cops have to come to my house for no reason because I'm legally parked in the street. That's an abuse of the police. What if there's an actual emergency? 2 cops come to my house to deal with it because I'm parked legally in the street? What if something happened in town and they need to be taking care of something?
I totally understand your situation, and I am going to send over the building inspector, zoning official, and the police for sightline.
Okay, I appreciate that
Yes.
because
No,
it's constant and
I understand completely. We all do.
We all do.
perfect. I appreciate
Okay?
that.
Thank you for coming in.
No, it's, you know,
I appreciate you.
this is
coming
not
in.
where I want to be spending my Tuesday night. I'd rather be home, but you know,
And I
like,
understand completely.
I don't want to constantly get calls or my doorbell rung from the police for doing nothing.
We understand the situation completely. Thank you.
I appreciate the help. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Anyone else? See no one, I think. Okay, we'll declare the public hearing closed. I need a motion for items 1 through 10, please.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Belisca? Aye. Mrs. McKnight?
Yes.
Mrs. Joffrey?
Yes.
Mr. Kogan?
Yes.
Mr. Kaminsky?
Aye.
Can I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved?
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
No? So be it. Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight, and happy Passover, happy Easter, and have a safe one out there.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.